Welcome everyone, I hope you're all doing well and having an excellent holiday season. And today, my friends, we're going to be taking a look at the Potion of Speed update. So obviously there's a ton of big changes for a campaign, substantially reduced turn times, which is huge for Mortal Empires as well as the Vortex campaigns. And if you go up and look here at the list, I would recommend going. I'll have a link to it in the comment section below so you guys can go check out all the campaign stuff yourself. I'm sure a couple other YouTubers have already covered it as well, but nonetheless, a lot of great changes to campaign, just micro tweaks, balance changes. Obviously the turn times is pretty big. So yeah, make sure to check that out if you guys are interested in the campaign stuff. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be focusing on the battle changes. So let us begin here by talking about the battle balance and knockdown changes. So we've made a significant change to the knockdown system, which unfairly punished heavily armored units. So maybe Grimgor Ironhide, maybe this is his day in the sun. He's going to be coming back and going hard. We'll find out. So the knockdown system works like this. When a unit is knocked down, it enters a knockdown idle state where it stays on the ground for a while. Yeah, certainly quite some time. This time is determined by a random roll between 0.7 and 2 seconds. Oh, that's pretty substantial, right? Okay, so like if something's down for like a whole additional second, that's big. This unit's armor is then multiplied by 0.02 and added to the knockdown time. Practically, this means that it would add 0.5 seconds to their knockdown for every 25 armor they had. So, okay, that explains it. That's like why characters like Grimgor would just like lay on the ground for like what seemed to be an hour. We've now removed armor from the calculation, and knockdown time is only determined by the roll now. As a rule, this means that heavily armored units will be getting up substantially faster than being knocked down. That's really nice for sure. That's a cool change. Improved splash damage. So the following units on foot have had their animation metadata tweaks, making several of their splash attacks bigger to bring them more in line with splash attacks used by Warhammer 1 characters. Interesting. All right, so it looks like it's just a bunch of generic characters as well as legendary lords like Turin, but these are only foot characters. So essentially, I wonder if it's going to be making several of their splash attacks bigger. Okay, so their splash attacks are just objectively better, but it seems like it's only going to be affecting foot lords. So it seems to me that it would be another buff to foot lords, which I think is great. I'm all about that. I've really been enjoying using lords like Vlad von Karstein, and it would be cool if they were a little bit more efficient at kind of clearing through a horde, right? I mean, it wouldn't make sense from like maybe a practical perspective, because obviously like a big beastie coming down like a dragon is going to be able to take out more stuff. But from a balance perspective, I think it's quite cool to see these guys get some tweaks there. So you guys can see here, it's going to be Marathi, Skaven Warlord, Tretch, the whole crew. Sigvald here? Prince Sigvald, you hanging out, man? I don't know why I don't see him here. Maybe his splash attacks were already okay. So perhaps there's just a couple that are getting changed. And now we're going to be getting on to unit balance changes. So this is the real heart of the balance here. So for Beastmen, Kazarak gets minus 10 armor and minus 50 cost on a chariot. I don't know if he needed any nerfs at all. I mean, the cost reduction is cool, but I feel like just give him the armor. I mean, Kazarak already isn't that good, so weird change. Chaos Spawn no longer marked as high threat. Now, this is something I don't really know how this works, so perhaps I'll have to ask some folks and get some feedback on this, and from there, I can maybe put that in the comment section below and let you guys know. But I'm guessing that maybe this has to do with like AI, like so for campaign and things like that. So if something's marked as high threat, the AI is going to be trying to focus it down. So that would be my only guess for multiplayer. I don't think it's going to have any pertinent applications. Maybe if you have something on like fire at will and there's like a couple targets to choose from, maybe it will prioritize high threat targets. I don't know. But anyways, Minotaurs across the board. So Shield, Standard Minotaurs, and Great Opens all have a cost reduction. That's really strong. Minobuses certainly have some teeth for sure and can be very powerful in a couple matchups, very overwhelming even. So I think it's pretty cool to see the Minotaurs get a cost reduction. They're a very cool unit. Like to see them used more. So Green Knight plus 25% hit reaction ignore chance and plus 25% knock interruption ignore chance. Pretty cool. Alberic on foot gets a buff to his AP melee damage. Alberic under Pegasus. Yeah, it looks like across the board he's going to be getting a little bit more melee damage. And honestly, I think Alberic's item in conjunction with these like nice little buffs here, like I think Alberic is a pretty solid multiplayer lord. I mean, I know like a year and a half ago he was on my list of the worst lords, but I mean things have changed. His item's really good, giving bonus versus large to like questing knights, and his trident actually does a lot of damage, so pretty cool. A Blessed Field Trebuchets no longer marked as high threat, blah blah blah. Okay, reduced radius of projectile to match regular Trebuchets. I feel like the Blessed ones should be a little bit better, but yeah. Grail, the Grail Relic here, now marked as high threat. Paladin plus 8 bonus versus large. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's going to make Paladins quite a bit stronger. Poor Empire Captains just sitting all over there with no bonus versus large. But I guess Paladins are more like the monster hunters, right? Companions plus 10 bonus versus large. Whoa, that's really good. That's really, really good. Okay, I mean, it costs 100 more, but I'll gladly pay that premium for a bonus versus large of 10. That's really strong. Okay, so that gives Bretonnia another kind of anti-large, like, armor-piercing answer, right? So now you have Henri La Massif, and you have this. Like, that's really good. Okay, that's a nice little buff for Bretonnia for sure. I mean, not too many, but Alberic and Companions, I'll take it. Paladins get bonus for large as well. Very, very solid. Dark Elves, Malekith on a Cold One Chariot, minus 10 armor. So it seems like chariots are being nerfed a little bit as it pertains to their armor. Plus 35% missile block chance. And chariots can be quite obnoxious for sure, so yeah, it's fine. Dark Riders get some leadership. Fine. Blades of the Blood Queen, plus 4 health per entity. That's going to make them pretty good. That might actually be something that like warrants some testing, like testing them out against like Chosen and things like that once again, because that's actually pretty substantial. I think there are 60 models. Yeah, so they got what, 240 extra health? And same with Hargoneth Executioners and Blackguard. That's a pretty nice buff for them. I mean, a lot of Dark Elf players will rely heavily on like skirmishing and mobile elements and things like that, more so than, you know, these elite troops, but that's still a really nice buff. Witch Elf, mounted on Cauldron of Blood, now throws knives at enemies when in melee combat. That's cool. So Dwarfs, Ghostmaster Engineer, added magical projectile damage. That's cool. Dragonback Slayers, plus 50 cost. Don't know if that was necessary. Flame Cannon gets a cost reduction. Longbeards get a cost increase. Organ Gun, projectile 1.5 times as accurate. Ooh, that's pretty good. Might have to try out the Organ Gun now. Rangers with great weapons, plus 5 projectile range. And Ulthar's Raiders, plus 5 projectile range. That's cool. You probably still won't see Rangers with great weapons. Thunders and just the other missile units like Bugman's Rangers are just so much better. Some good tea. Chamomile tea. Nice stuff. But yeah, I'm eager to try out the Organ Gun. See how that rolls. But aside from that, nothing too interesting. A little bit of a nerf to Longbeards and Dragonback Slayers, but it's not going to be like super backbreaking. Empire Flagellants, plus 2 melee defense. It would appear they've been working on those pecs, doing some push-ups, so they get a little bit more melee defense on their shirtless bodies. Tattersouls as well. Halberdiers and Spearmen. Okay, trying to encourage you to bring Halberdiers a little bit, which is fine. Halberdiers are a decent unit. Spearmen getting a base cost increase, which is interesting. Greatswords get a buff to their bonus for infantry. War Wagons, plus 40 ammo. Oh, all right. Now we're talking. All right. Maybe there's some incentive here. Plus 40 ammo is pretty good. They won't pack the punch, but they do have, a cost increase and a lot more ammo. Yeah, mortar wagons are still always going to be terrible. Free Company Militia can... Oh, wow. Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Now, the question being, though, is... Wow, that is big. That's going to change, like, a lot of Empire builds. It depends, though. Can Free Company Militia fire while running? So can they 360 shoot and do that, like, Matrix kind of turn around and shoot? If they can, that's going to be a game changer in a lot of matchups. Free Company Militia are, a decent unit as is, but being able to fire while moving is a very powerful trait. So we're going to have to see if that's something that is like, forward firing, or can they do it while running? So Warrior Priest no longer has access to the Scroll of Power. Replaced. No, sorry about that, guys. Just kidding. I still I gotta figure out. I'm such a curmudgeon when it comes to technology. All right, power off. Here. There we go, guys. Sorry about that. I have to enter all these secret codes to just shut off my phone. All right, so let's see. Where were we? Free Company Militia, fire while moving. Warrior Priest no longer has access to Scroll of Power, replaced with Scroll of Shielding. All right, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, because the Scroll of Power combo was a little bit gnarly with the, I don't think it was oppressive, but yeah, I can see they're just trying to get rid of that gimmick to immediately use 2 of these Soulfire bombardments. Luminarch of Heish, 20 projectile range plus 2 ammo. Cool, I won't complain. Karl Franz, hey, look at that. Not on his big bird, though. Okay, so he doesn't get it on Deathclaw, but on everything else he gets melee defense, which is cool. Kind of encourages him on foot or Warhorse maybe in some circumstances. So for the Greenskins, Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Okay, that's pretty good. 15 armor is no joke. And they get Orc Boar Boys, get 5 armor and charge bonus. Savage Orc Boar Boys get a little bit of armor as well. But the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, that's pretty cool. Plus 15 armor. I think they're at 40 right now, so that puts them up to 55 or something. I mean, that's substantial. That's not bad. It's going to make them a lot better against things like Illyrian Reavers and Skirmisher Cav and stuff like that, which is cool. Won't help super a lot against other AP Cav and things like that, but still not bad at all. Orc Boar Chariots getting a little bit of a reduction. Forest Goblin Spider Riders lose a charge bonus. Okay, who cares? Orc War Boss plus 50, plus 110 AP melee damage. Whoa! And then minus 160 base melee damage. Okay, so a little bit better against armor, a little bit worse against general targets. And added Get Back Here ability in custom battles. That's cool. Orc War Boss on a Borg, it's looks like just more AP across the board. On the Wyvern cost negative 100. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's on. You might be seeing him as a lore choice for sure. I mean, if it's cheaper and he has a little bit better AP. Skarsnik Get Back Here ability in custom battles. Grimgore now marked as a high threat. Oh yeah, better watch out for that Grimgore. He's certainly going to get you. And Azag, he should be low threat, just insignificant. Azag the Slaughter Foot plus 45 AP damage. Okay, that's cool. I've used Azag on foot before in a couple matchups. He's not terrible on foot against if you're expecting vampire counts, you just kind of slap them in there, spam Spirit Leeches, and do some of that creepy stuff. So for High Elves, let's take a look here. We're getting through this pretty quick here. The Ilthamar Chariot, plus 50 armor, plus 50 cost. Okay. Alariel the Radiant, all versions. Yeah, she's pretty strong, and I'd like to see anything to encourage high elf players to take other lords. She's kind of like, the reason why Avalorn is picked more than high elves is simply because Avalorn is just like, you get Alariel plus like extra units that just diversify your roster. So any nerfs to Alariel, I'm always welcome to. Turin Chariots, plus 30, plus 50. Phoenix Guard, plus 4 health per entity. Keepers of the Flame. Okay, so pretty similar to the Black Guard and stuff. I'm fine with that. I always like to see these elite builds from these factions, especially like Sword Masters. You almost never see them. Usually it's just like spamming Spearmen and single entities and Cav, so it's cool to see like this stuff encouraged. Fireborn, AP damage, okay, a little bit buff there. Blizzard Aura ability now also reduces base melee damage by 12%. That's interesting. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a nice buff. So maybe we'll see like a single Frostheart Phoenix, because like in a blob fight, that's really substantial. Or like in a single entity fight. So if you have like a dragon plus a Frostheart Phoenix fighting against like enemy, a Terror Goose, or a black dragon, 12% is big, proportionally speaking, on those units. Hand of the Shadow Crown is now a playable unit, hero unit in custom battles as part of a campaign exclusive unit. Okay, so that's, it doesn't really matter for tournaments and quick battles because you still won't be able to do that. Ranged Assassin Hero, Encourage Stock, Vanguard Deployment, and Firewall Moving. Okay. That's what he is, I guess, and has loose and slippery. Yeah, but anyways, like this is not really pertinent. It's just for playing with your friends, basically. Lizardmen bestow it on Ark of Sotek, plus 1 base of damage on the ability, so a 33% damage increase. Okay. All right, we'll see. We'll give it a whirl. Colon Spear Riders lose some melee attack. Popak cohort gets -1 as well. I don't really need, were they that good that they needed a nerf? Temple Guard lose 5 leadership. Interesting. Nakai the Wanderer, minus 100 cost. I think that's good. He was pretty overcosted in my opinion. And Aslan Mage Life, whoa, that's really good. Aslan Mages of Life are already like super strong. And the fact that they're going to lose 150, okay. He's probably going to be like a must pick now in a lot of matchups for sure. I mean, that's a big cost decrease. Razordon Hunting Packs changed trajectory to dual low fixed, allowing the unit to choose a higher trajectory if obstructed. That's cool. Okay. So like, it's not going to be like as direct fire now. It can like go over a little bit better, which is cool. And same thing for the Amazon Barb. So neat changes for the most part. I think Nakai and the Salon, I mean, that's a pretty big buff for sure. Minor nerfs to some of these units, but again, pretty insignificant. I think so far the Empire's probably had some of the bigger changes. For Norsca, Marauder Chieftain on foot, plus 2 run speed. He finally gave in to coming along for some cardio with the rest of the crew and now matches normal Norscan foot speed. Marauder Chieftain on a Chariot. Again, same changes to all the Chariots we've seen across the board. Wolfric on a Marauder Chariot. Again, losing 100 cost, but the armor is, yeah, it's pretty substantial. Ice Trolls plus 4 melee defense. Hey, I'll take it. And Marauder Hunters with throwing axes get a little bit of a buff. They're pretty weak in general, and Javelins are just always better, usually. But getting projectile range of plus 10, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. They might be worth trying now. Plus 1 AP projectile damage, like when you multiply it by the entire force, plus the ammunition, like that's addressing a lot of their weaknesses. That's really nice. Femiro Balefiend with Shadows now marked as high threat. Throg now marked as high threat, and Marauders get plus 3 AP melee damage, which is nice. Marauders with Grey Weapons, kind of a weird niche. You almost never saw them, so that's cool. So for Skaven Death Runners, ooh, look at that. Plus 19 health per entity. Oh, okay. So they lose 28 entities, so it's a bit of a wash there. Okay, that's fine. You don't really see them much anyway. So they lose melee attack, but they get plus 10 bonus versus infantry. So they're basically more of a specialist versus infantry now. Poison Wing Globadier, stop trying to make them good. They're just never going to be good with all the new weapons teams. They're just like, you have like Jezzails and Rattling Gunners and like all this good stuff like that has range and hits hard. And these guys just are so crippled by range and just, I mean, okay, leadership, ammo, projectile damage, minus 32 bonus for large and projectile, added direct. Oh, okay. So now they're like the mortars. Okay, I mean, maybe. I mean, that basically is a full rework of the unit. So maybe now we can evaluate it differently. So it doesn't have bonus for large, but it does do damage over time. So it has the poison wind effect, which makes sense. They're called poison wind globadiers. Death Glow Bombardiers get ammo and cost increase. Interesting. I don't know if they needed a cost increase, but Skaven are already really strong. Okay, so these guys are all part of the weapon teams category. Nothing else really to take note of there. So yeah, I don't know. The damage over time, maybe if the splash is decent, could be something to evaluate. But why not just take the mortar? It has better range and does the same thing basically. So Sepulchral Stalkers, Tomb Kings. Yeah, this is a big one. So if you look at the Stalkers here, guys, they've added the Stalk attribute, which makes sense. They've lost missile resist. They've lost melee attack and bonus versus large, but they attack a little bit quicker. They get ammo and minus 5 AP. Oh my God, just so many numbers here. Plus 91 AP projectile damage. Oh, wow. Yeah, I noticed this when I was playing against Dov a couple days ago. I had a Tomb Kings game and my Sepulchral Stalkers like just karate chopped his Skaven Assassin. It was like crazy. So minor nerfs to their melee prowess and their durability with missile resist, but nonetheless they have stock and their missile attacks are actually quite powerful now if you guys take a look. Plus 68 projectile velocity are now 4 times as accurate, removed projectile spread, and reduced penetration, removed poison contact from the effect. But yeah, it's still, I think they're going to be better for sure. And Eyes of the Desert have had some tweaks as well to their accuracy, bonus versus large. Still going to be a good unit. I'm a big fan of these guys. Again, the basically their missile attacks are kind of like the Medusas now from the Dark Elves. And Necropolis Knights, 20 armor, 12 health, 200 multiplayer cost. Okay. I mean, I guess that's a pretty big increase, but they get some nice stuff. And they got like better attack animations, it looks like. See, removed problematic side and rear attack animations that made entities sometimes fight with their flank or rear facing the enemy. That's cool. I still don't think they'll see too much play, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. The cost too is pretty prohibitive. That's like really expensive. Like you're getting almost into like Sphinx territory, like when you're paying this troll toll. Maybe like one group, and the other one has a similar change as well. Armor health. I mean, is it plus 12 health per unit? If that's the case, I mean, that plus 20 armor makes them a lot stronger. I don't know. Tomb Scorpions have had a nerf. I'm all about that. I think Tomb Scorpions are a really obnoxious unit, so I like to see them get nerfed a little bit. Casket of Souls plus 1. Oh, look at this. Projectiles are now 2.5 times as accurate. Okay. Kotzap gets the same changes as well. Arkan gets... Whoa, okay. So I guess Arkan is going to get some armor on a chariot. Pretty much every other faction has had armor nerfs on their chariots, except Arkan the Black. Khalida here, losing armor and cost. Yeah, but Arkan for some reason gets more, which I'm fine with. Arkan's actually one of my favorite choices for multiplayer. Tomb King getting some changes to his armor and missile block chance and 50% or minus 50 cost as well. Necrotech gets a cost increase on foot. I don't know if that was necessary, but Tomb Kings are pretty strong, I guess. It's delicious. Skeleton Archer Chariots. Okay, 30 armor plus 100 multiplayer cost. Same thing to standard Skeleton Chariots. Ushabti no longer marked as high threat. Great Bows no longer marked as high threat. And the Bone Giant plus 10% base missile damage. Oh, look at that. So they hit a lot harder, plus 40 AP projectile damage, plus 50 bonus versus large, but they've lost accuracy of about 30%. So I'm still going to use these bony boys. I think that's pretty cool. Like now when they do hit you, it's really going to crump you good. But minus 30% is pretty big. Yeah. But I guess if you're shooting at big targets anyways, it's not so bad. So Vampire Coast, Scurvy Dogs get a little bit of a tweak to their charge bonus and melee defense at the cost increase. That's too bad. Depth Guard gets some more melee defense, which is good. I think Depth Guard are kind of in a weird place, so making them a little bit tankier is nice. Bloody Reaver Depth Guard get plus 2 melee defense. Deck Droppers lose ammo but get a damage increase. Salt Lord Scuttler, same thing basically. Deck Gunners plus 2 AP projectile damage. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Deck Gunners are a really bad unit. They need buffs. I still don't think that's going to make them good, but it makes them better. So if you want to try them out, certainly going to be a little bit more efficient. Shade Wraith Gunners get the same thing. Rotting Leviathan plus 15 bonus versus infantry plus 1 max splash attack targets. Oh, that's cool. All right, so he gets to whack a couple more models and, gets a bonus versus infantry of 15 or adds 15 to it. Queen Bess, so these are all threat things. Looks like these are all threats. So again, relatively insignificant in multiplayer if I'm not interpreting it wrong. Rotting Leviathan, high threat, plus 15 for bonus versus infantry. Again, she's getting the same buffs that the other one gets on her crab. Luther Harkin on foot getting a cost decrease, which is cool. Luther Harkin of the Goose costs 100 more, so trying to encourage that Footlord play, of course. Sartosa Free Company can fire while moving, and the Damned Paladin gets plus 8 bonus versus large. Cool. So Vampire Count, some nice tweaks here, some weird ones too. Black Coach gets a mass increase, which is nice. Hex Wraiths get just buffs across the board to melee defense, AP melee damage, and base damage. Chillgeists, same thing. Karen Wraiths get plus 6 melee defense. That's not bad. They're pretty squishy and a bit of a glass cannon, especially considering how quickly magic damage can kill them. So getting that is nice. Black Knights lose some stats, get a cost increase, but get more melee damage or AP melee damage. Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Graveguard get, I think they could have given these buffs to Graveguard without maybe a cost increase of 50, but I guess that's fine. Plus 2 melee attack. You guys saw this in the replay I had with Aerocrastic a couple days ago. They're certainly pretty decent. I mean, these minor tweaks of melee attack and AP melee damage on standard Graveguard, which aren't the Great Weapon variant, it actually makes a big difference. And the Great Weapons got the same thing. They got a cost increase at the benefit of a melee attack and AP buff. Sternsman, same thing. Banshee's got plus 8 melee attack. Cryptor's got plus 3 melee attack, which I think is nice. I think Cryptors could have used with a couple more small buffs, but again, Vampire Counts I think are a strong faction. Vargheist no longer marked as high threat. So we're getting towards the end here. Warriors of Chaos, Forsaken get plus 10 armor. Nice. Demon Spew gets some armor. I love it. I really like Forsaken. They're just such glass cannons. So, I mean, 10 armor helps. Gorby's Chariots, and Forsaken, typically you want them to be fighting enemy like state troop type infantry, like lightly armored stuff. So the 10 armor does help there. Gorby's Chariot gets an armor buff. Chaos Chariot gets an armor buff. Exalted Hero, yeah, so these are just like buffs to the Footlords. Exalted Hero and a Manticore, minus 200 cost. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. Chaos Spawn no longer, yeah, this is just like threat stuff. Archaeon on foot. Marauders with Great Weapons, just like Norsca, get AP buff. So that's cool. So now we're going to go on to spells and abilities, and oh boy, it looks like there's quite a bit going on here. So let's go ahead and rebalance all abilities that modify melee attack or melee defense, reducing their effectiveness by roughly 10%. Okay. Let's see what else. Rebalanced all abilities that modify melee base damage or melee AP damage, increasing their effectiveness by 20%. Okay. So Elithanar's mislead ability, as well as the decoy ability from the Skaven, ROR, Esh, and Triads, now actually works. Your opponent can't tell which one's the real one. It doesn't have the unbreakable tooltip on it, even though it is. That's pretty cool. But is unbreakable and has perfect vigor. See, this is cool. When the decoy dies, it no longer leaves a persistent body. Instead, it disappears in a shadowy cloud of smoke. Okay. For the purpose of streamlining some unclear communication in the battle layer, we've updated all projectiles spawned by abilities to look unblockable. This applies to bombardment, magic missiles. It was clear after an internal discussion that our current implementation didn't really communicate to the player that they could rely on a shield to block or not block missile units. Shields still block regular arrows as normal, okay? Bray Scream upgraded. 16 base vortex damage, minus 16 base, and plus 4, okay, a little bit better AP, but damage nerf overall. Arrow of Akshai, Explosion now deals fire damage. Drop Rock of Chotek, Explosion deals fire damage. Fire Breath, War Hydra now deals fire damage. The dreaded 13th spell, minus 4 cost, that's cool. Now deals magic damage. All right, maybe you'll see that. Probably not still, but that's cool. Rod of Corruption gets a nerf to its max charges. That's just fine. It's pretty good. I mean, that was really good, being able to just spam that like nonstop. Warp Bomb now deals magic damage. Warp Lightning Explosion now deals magic damage. Did it not do magic damage before the explosion? Huh. Lord of the Storm from Kolek deals magic damage. What did none of these do magic damage before? Huh. That's weird. Piercing Bolts of Burning. Okay, fire damage, Piercing Bolts of Burning, fire damage. Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin has lost 8 seconds off the duration, and the other one has lost 4. Okay, that's pretty, I mean, that's a bit of a nerf to the dwarves for sure. Scroll of Power, cooldown reduction effect reduced from 90 to 60. Alter the contouring or coloring of the Concealment Bomb's ability VFX to better reflect the iconography. Snare Net from Gutter Runners changed implementation to now a passive ability with 40-meter radius that reduces the speed of charge. Okay, that's pretty good. That's nice. I mean, now it's not like an ability that's going to be triggering. Rather, it's just like a perpetual minus 12% when people get close. It's cool. Skitter Leap upgraded. Now removed. The new Lore of Stealth changed. Yeah, so it's in the other lore. It's in the lore of... now moved to Lore of Stealth, yes. In order to make accuracy modifiers a bit more universally impactful, we've transitioned all accuracy modifiers from multiplicative to additive. Oh, okay. And you guys can see this here, 18% for the Prospectors, Holy Stealth. There's just a bunch of items here. Yeah, and it's basically just all the things that have the nature of that. The percentage is just minus 30. So it's just basically a different way of applying that. We've unified the ability of a ballistics calibration to enhance the perform. Yeah, okay, so they're just doing that. Yeah, so the rest of these not terribly significant. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown. As far as like things that really stand out to me, let's see, in Chaos, nothing too big. I mean, Forsaken getting their goodies there is cool. Vampire counts, some substantial changes. I think you could see like less gooning builds now and maybe see more like Graveguard, kind of like, you know, standard builds that we used to see back in the day, maybe with a little bit of Cryptor support. I would have liked to see Cryptors lose like 50 off their cost, but still, I think we might see a little bit of a difference there. For Vampire Coast, what do we have here that's pretty substantial? Not too much. Again, maybe some nerfs, like making the dogs cost more is going to be a little bit tricky, but some buffs. The Depth Guard is cool, but I don't think their playstyle is going to change that much. Tomb Kings, Tomb Scorpions will probably still be a staple. Even with minus 400 health, they're still really good. Sepulchral Stalkers are the big winners here. Not winners per se. I mean, yeah, I would say so. Like, getting good missile attacks on them is really nice. And they do a lot of damage from my testing I've done, or in the early access. Because the battles you guys have been seeing in early access have been using these patch notes here for the most part. I don't know about the Poison Wind Globadier, so I haven't really tried those. For Skaven, I don't know. I don't know if I have too much to say about that. I'll have to try out the new Poison Wind Globadiers. But aside from that, yeah, try out Death Runners as well. We'll see how they are. Honestly, not a huge fan of Death Runners, but we'll see how they are. Norsca, yeah, fine. Minor stuff here and there. The Lizardmen, the dreaded Ark of Sotek is buffed as well. For High Elves, let's take a look here again. Yeah, like buffing the elite troops. Same with Dark Elves as well. This could be a game changer as well. Getting the base melee damage reduction on the Frostheart Phoenix is pretty cool, because the Flame Phoenix was just so commonly picked because it has that really OP rebirth ability. Greenskins, the Piggies get a little bit more armor, encouraging us to take the War Boss as well. Empire, some pretty cool changes. I'm really excited to try out War Wagons. I know it's not going to be like a game changer, but War Wagons plus Free Company Militia being able to fire while moving, that's pretty gangster for sure. Especially if it's a 360 Parthian shot on the Free Company, that's going to be really good. Dwarf, some Organ Gun buffs, but nerfs on some of the common units of Longbeards and Dragonback Slayers, plus the Runes of Wrath and Ruin have been nerfed, so Dwarf's getting nerfed a little bit actually. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the Organ Guns do. Yeah, again, Dark Elves, same kind of thing, just buffing the elite troops. Bretonnia, Yeah, Alberic plus the companions getting a bonus for large. That's pretty substantial. Beastmen, of course, getting some changes as well here, but nothing that big, I guess. Like just Minotaurs across the board are cheaper, which is cool. So maybe we'll see some more Mino buses. But that's pretty much it. So guys, thank you for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown. If you guys have any feedback based on your thoughts on this, let me know in the comment section below. I'm very eager to see if there was something you saw, maybe I just kind of glazed over it, that you guys think is going to be a real big game changer in multiplayer or competitive play or even campaign battles. Let me know. I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll be coming out with some tournament play soon. Going to be getting back on that train. We'll be traveling to Poland from December 16th to the 28th. So content will still be going out then, but it'll be a little bit slower. Won't be too many streams, but don't worry, guys. I have stuff planned that'll be going up, so no stress. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.